پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور دا د باتورانو کور ساتو یې پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا
In the name of Allah, good evening and welcome to this hour's news. I'm Suleiman Talash and this is RTA News. Today is 23rd of September 2024. The Minister of Water and Energy met with the employees and officials of the North General River Basin and the Balkh Sub-River Basin. The officials of the said river basins presented information about the water and energy projects and their activities in the mentioned basins and also presented their suggestions and some problems to the Minister of Water and Energy. The Minister assured the officials that necessary actions will be taken considering the available possibilities and balanced development. Mullah Muhammad Yunus Akhundzada, the Minister of Rural Development and Rehabilitation, during his working trip to Kunar, Nangarhar and Laghman provinces, met with the heads and employees of the departments of the rural development and reconstruction of these provinces. Mr. Akhundzada listened closely to the problems and requests of the employees of these departments and said to serve your people with security, honesty, and the field of development and construction. The minister also added that our country and people need some work and service. You should always come to your work on time and do the assigned work according to the Islamic values. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs once again asked the United Nations to hand over the seat of Afghanistan's permanent representative in this organization to the representative of the Islamic Emirate. The deputy spokesman of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs calls the refusal to hand over this seat to the representative of the Islamic Emirate as a great injustice to Afghans. With this, a number of experts say the United Nations organization is taking a double approach towards Afghanistan. Let's see more in this report.
The 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly was held in New York on Sunday and Monday of this week. Representatives of more than 190 countries participated in the two-day meeting, where they discussed and talked about the situation of several other countries, including Afghanistan and Palestine. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs wants the participants of this meeting to take a decision considering the realities of Afghanistan.
We hope that in this meeting, looking at the current and real situation of Afghanistan, a positive decision will be made and positive ideas will be presented, as there are development in political, economic, commercial, and other fields in Afghanistan.
The deputy spokesman of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs also called the non-handover of the permanent post of Afghanistan in the United Nations to the representative of the Islamic Emirate as a great affront to the rights of Afghans.
What is the ultimate goal of international organizations and the United Nations, where the Afghan representative is not presented, applying their political interests in governance and implementing the intelligence programs of superpower countries that have the right of veto in the United Nations.
On the other hand, political experts believe that not handing over Afghanistan's seat in the United Nations organization to the Islamic Emirate and not inviting the representative of a current government to the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly increases the distance between government and international community.
They think about it and see that one-side behavior or one-side judgments are going forward with Afghanistan. And with this, the standard and credibility of the United Nations will be under question. Unfortunately, there is a double attitude toward Afghanistan, which is a member of this organization. This is an injustice to the people and system of Afghanistan.
This is despite the fact that before this, the head of the political office of the Islamic Emirate in Qatar has criticized that non-inviting of the representative of the Islamic Emirate to the 79th session of the United Nations General Assembly and called it unfair.
Mawlavi Matiul Khalis, Director General of the National Environmental Protection Agency, in a meeting with Zhao Sheng, the Chinese ambassador to Afghanistan. said that the National Environmental Protection Agency is currently a number of 16 environmental conventions and should be part of this organization in international environmental meetings. Officials should be given the opportunity to travel so that the problems of Afghans reach the world to be addressed. During this visit, Mr. Khalis has asked for China's cooperation and equipping the National Environmental Protection Agency, activating forest fire warning and fire extinguishing systems, and clean energy. Also, during this meeting, Mr. Zhao Sheng said, during this 20-year occupation, Afghanistan's environment has been greatly damaged, and the occupying countries should compensate for the damage done by them. A number of Afghan refugees in Iran say that they are worried about the future of their children who are deprived from education in this country. At the same time, the Norwegian Refugee Council says that it provides education for the children of Afghan refugees. The Council has made this issue in connection with the beginning of the academic year on the first day, Mizan, in the mentioned country. We have more in this report.
The Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC, has expressed concern about the deprivation of nearly 1 million Afghan children from education in Iran. The report of the Norwegian Refugee Council also stated that 1/3 of Afghan refugee children in Iran are theoretically allowed to join Iran's public education system, but practically this group faces problems such as financial, administrative, ceremonial, and cultural obstacles.
Among the 1.5 million Afghan immigrant children in Iran, only 600,000 of them have been able to enroll in Iranian schools in the academic year of 2023 and 2024.
At the same time, a number of Afghan refugees living in Iran say that they are worried about the future of their children who are deprived of education in this country.
Iran's school starts on the 1st of autumn, when all the people had to register their children. But unfortunately, due to the lack of documents, Afghan refugees could not register their children, and there are a lot of registration left. Unfortunately, a large number of Afghan children in Iran cannot continue their studies due to the lack of passports and identity documents. This is a big problem that we want to solve. The government of Afghanistan and the government of Iran and international institutions in general should have discussion on these issues in order to solve this problem.
The Norwegian Refugee Council published a report on June 10th expressing concern about the limited access of Afghan refugee children to education in Iran, saying that they are trying to create educational courses and to provide training to a number of Afghan refugee children.
73 different types of military vehicles were prepared for repair and use by the professional personnel of their support battalion related to the technical and weapons management of the 215 Azam Corps. The Ministry of National Defense said that the repaired vehicles include 51 tanks, 20 international cars, and 2 international cranes that will be used for the defense of the country. 70 security guards and soldiers graduated from a military training course of Bamiyan Police Headquarters. The Ministry of Interior Affairs said that during the ceremony, Muhammad Hanif Agha, the police chief of the mentioned province, told the graduates to be successful and committed in their duties and professions, as well as to remember and practice military tactics. A survey was conducted for the construction of a retaining wall worth 1,098,900 Afghanis in Laghman province. Qari Khair Muhammad Ghazi, director of the National Emergency Preparedness Agency of the province, along with a delegation, surveyed an 80-meter long retaining wall in Gulkariu village of Mehtarlam, the capital of the mentioned province. Its practical work will begin in the next few days. And the final one is that the economic crimes Directorate of Parwan Police Headquarters burned some expired food items and medicine. The media office of Parwan Police Headquarters says among the burnt items there were 40 illegal spices worth 1.5 million Afghanis. That's all for tonight. We will be back with more news updates. Until then, stay tuned. Have a great night.
ساتوی پسرو وینو دا د شهیدانو کور دا